Actors Theater Grand Rapids has a dynamic show coming up opening on May 16th. Sweat tells the story of a group of friends who have spent their lives sharing drinks, a few laughs, and some secrets while working together in a factory. But when layoffs and picket lines begin to chip away at their trust, their friends find themselves pitted against each other. Joining me now are some of the actors on the show, Eddie Stevens Jr. and Marissa Batty, and the director and founder of Actors Theater, Fred Sobinski. Welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for being here. Fred, I want to start with you. What was it about this particular piece of work that you decided, I want to produce this, I want to direct this?
Well, it's just a wonderful piece of work. I mean, it won the Pulitzer Prize, and it's so beautifully written. Lynn Nottage spent 2.5 years researching by going into Reading, Pennsylvania, and talking to the people that were there about what was happening in that community. Mm-hmm. And because of it, because of that work, I mean, she's boiled down everything she learned about it down to 9 characters.
Gotcha.
And so the 9 characters tell the story truly of the whole community, but at the same time, they really tell their stories, and their stories are people who are just destroyed because suddenly the jobs that they have counted on, that they've depended on their entire lives, have disappeared, and they're left with nothing. And
so pardon me, is this based on a true story?
it is based on the truth of Reading, Pennsylvania.
Gotcha.
But as we've worked on it, it could be Flint, Michigan, it could be Detroit, Michigan. It doesn't matter. It's any industrial city. Mm-hmm. And I was born and raised in Pennsylvania, so that was another reason for me. I thought I really like this story. I like what it says, and I think it says the same thing about cities all around me.
I wanted to ask you guys as actors, now knowing that it is kind of based on a true story, what kind of, does that add any added pressure to your performance, knowing that you are based on actual characters? Does that kind of put any more pressure on you to, I really got to get this right?
I wouldn't say pressure, but it definitely makes us focus a lot more because we are representing this true life experience that these people have. Now, I grew up on the other side of the state, and a lot of my family worked in the plants when we were coming out of high school, so I can relate to the experiences that the characters in Sweat are going through.
How about for you?
Oh, I'd say the same thing. And growing up in Grand Rapids, Kentwood area, I mean, I remember 3 o'clock being kind of the rush hour, folks leaving Steelcase, GM. So many of my family members, you know, have worked lines and whatnot. So the truth in the story really resonates.
And what is it about the dynamic with work relationships? You know, you've got your work BFF or your work wife or your work husband, and everything can be fine, but then something happens in that environment that can really tip the apple cart. Mm-hmm. And change that relationship, and change it almost entirely, right?
Yes. I mean, this play really demonstrates that, and what the pivotal shift occurs when the jobs begin to thin, when the risk of unemployment is looming, and when other people's trajectory in the workplace goes upward. You really see those shifts. So absolutely, it demonstrates that.
And that can happen really in any.
Oh, absolutely.
In any industry,
Absolutely.
Right.
Yep. But the thing is that what the play really reminds us of is that we don't, if it isn't happening to us, we don't care about this story. You know, this story, these are our neighbors. These are the people that live down the street from us.
Right.
And they don't have the flexibility, they can't go somewhere else and get another job. These jobs are gone.
Right.
I mean, we talk about what the effect of NAFTA in the play. But it's really focusing on these individual people and the life that they have had disappears. What do they do?
Right. Well, it also sounds like even if you may not work in a plant yourself, it sounds like anyone can take a message away from this
absolutely.
in any work environment
Absolutely.
in today's day and age.
Yes.
Sure,
right?
sure.
All right.
Yeah, and their personal relationships, which are wonderful and nurturing, and if they've spent their entire lives together, those relationships get destroyed too in the course of the.
Fascinating.
And in fact, in the play, Marissa and I are married, but my character, Brucey, is showing everyone their worst fears because I've already been laid off during the play, and they're seeing what it's doing to my life. and that helps drive some of the fear that you see throughout some of the other characters. It is incredibly powerful.
Well, fear is a powerful motivator for a lot of people as well. Thank you all so much. And break a leg, we still say that,
We
right?
do,
In the
we
theater.
do.
And we want to remind everybody again, it is next weekend and the weekend after that. We've got all the information you need on our website, 13onYourSide.com, and we will be right back.